Hi, it's Melissa. Welcome to the second week of our 4-week challenge to alleviate the yang energy of summer and to reduce anxiety. This is a very special 4-week weekly challenge, and I've just been so thrilled at all the response, and I really appreciate all the time that you're spending journaling about your practices. And I loved hearing about all the posts about the differences before and after your practices, and it's really incredible to see how much is happening even just after 1 week. So I'm excited to embark on this second week with you. And this week we're going to be talking about natural attunement. Recently, I heard Frank Forenchek interviewed by Brooke Thomas on the Liberated Body podcast, and what he had to say just blew my mind. Frank spoke about how we inhabit our bodies and how our bodies are highly attuned to our environments. Our nervous systems are designed to adapt to our social environment. And Frank makes the point that our human body is 6 million years old. Most of that time we have spent it in wild, outdoor, ancestral conditions, and we are actually attuned to those conditions. And it's only in the last few hundred years that we have drastically changed the nature of our conditions. And I would argue that it's even only in the last few years that we've changed them even more with the inundation of screens and social media. So Frank points out that we now live in an environment that is alien to us and substantially different from the wild, outdoor, ancestral conditions in which our human bodies and nervous systems have been immersed. He points out that we now live in an alien environment. Some have adapted, but most have not. And this radical divergence from what we used to do is showing up in our nervous system disorders, such as anxiety, like we're talking about over the next 4 weeks. Our nervous system wants to be attuned to the outdoors. In paleo times, our ancestors would experience acute stress. A predator would attack, they would survive, and there would be a period of recovery. In our modern world, most of us are facing chronic stress. Screen time, work pressures, deadlines, the buzz of overpopulated cities and concrete. The chronic stress never goes away. And now, as it continuously pumps cortisol and adrenaline through your body, that actually damages the tissue throughout your body. This includes cardiovascular tissue and nervous system tissue that leads to changes in cognition and nervous system issues like anxiety. So over the last few weeks, I have had the privilege of spending a lot of time outside, camping, and I can feel my body attuning to nature. I can feel my whole nervous system slowing down. And when we took Trinity's class camping, 30 13-year-olds were incredibly well behaved. Was I surprised? No. Their natural habitat allowed them to attune to their natural environment and each other. And many of the parents on the trip commented on how well behaved the children were. One even noted how different this trip was from the recent trip he took to the metropolitan city center, Seattle, where children were actually flinging themselves off barriers to open water. So completely different. So this week, in addition to the practices offered here that are the same as last week, make it a point to go outside. Slow down your habitat and put your body in direct relationship with your natural environment. So I'll put a link of Frank's books and his website in the show notes. And I look forward to your comments this week. And make sure you grab your yoga buddy and do this. Maybe make plans for how you're going to attune to your natural environment. I look forward to hearing how these practices and reflections leave you feeling mentally calmer, more physically energized, and happier after your practice. I know your journal reflections on how these practices will help to ground you and calm you will be fascinating, so please post them here so that we can hear about how you're becoming less anxious and surrendering to the positive changes that are happening to you and your body through yoga. Also, I think I have a question for you about this week. So let me know how that's starting to improve your mood, increasing your self-compassion, giving you a sense of stronger connection with others. Then I know this is going to lead to a really rich discussion here over the next 4 weeks. Thanks so much. Namaste.